Hello everyone and welcome to this early October/late September update. Over the last month or so, just been focusing mainly on getting the station area kind of wired up properly with point motors and like dropper wires and various things like that. So I'm going to take you through that in the next couple of minutes. Okay, so the first update is with the point motors. I've wired in about 3 or 4 of these, I think. I've been using the Traintronic point motors similar to what I've used over in the TMD area and also the fiddle yard. Thinking about it, I probably shouldn't have used these down in the fiddle yard because they're not exactly they're quite expensive for what they are, really. Obviously they're slow motion and they're very good, but there's point motors on the market that do exactly the same job and they're just as reliable as these ones. So for the rest of the points on the top board, I'm probably just going to use the standard ones. I mean, there's some parts in the layout where they're just going to sit on top like they do down in the fiddle yard. This one will just sit on top because there'll be like a bridge coming over here as like a scenic break. And then if we pan round, there's a point right down the end there. Now this one is a bit of a trouble because it's in between 2 boards. So the unfortunate thing is that I can't drill a point motor into it because the line down to the fiddle yard actually runs down below. It wasn't very good planning, but this is, I needed the loop to be as long as it was in order to get the trains, the long trains that I wanted to run on the layout. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use the same technique I used down in the fiddle yard, where I put the point motor on top of the baseboard and then run an arm, put the point motor into an arm and then put the arm on the point and then go from there. Either that, or I think it's Gauge Master are bringing out some point rodding, like working point rodding. So it might be an idea for me to actually use that system if it means not drilling through the baseboard and affecting trains running down to the lower level. I've also started prepping the station for lighting and signals and stuff. For the signal light, for the station lighting, I'm going to be using these Gauge Master modern station lamps. They're probably the most accurate ones that I've seen for what I actually want to, for what I'm actually modelling. I mean, apparently they're slightly out of scale, but obviously I'm not a rivet counter myself, so it doesn't bother me too much as long as they do the job and they look good. It's good enough for me. For the signals, I decided to go with the Burco and Econ signals. For some reason it won't focus. Still not going to focus. Yeah, it's not going to focus. Anyway, yeah, so I decided to use the Burco and Econ signals. The Econ ones you basically have to build yourself and the Burco ones come pre-assembled. They're nice and easy to build if you need to build the Econ ones, and the Burco ones are actually really easy to wire as well. I currently haven't got any wired in at the moment because I'm waiting for switches to come into stock at the place where I'm going to get them. I'm going to be getting them from Rail Room Electronics because they do rotary switches, which comes with like a little board, and then you just connect all the wires into it. It makes it really simple. So rather than have it on about 3 or 4 different switches, which is how I had it on the last layout, just going to have it on one simple one to make it a lot easier for myself. Once they arrive in stock and once I've ordered them and various things like that, I will do a mini tutorial on how to install them, similar to how I did with the Traintronic point motors. They'll be wired up DC like all of my point motors are. If you want a link to how I actually wire my point motors, I'll put a link in the description and on the screen now, and that's just a basic run through. I've also been installing dropper wires into all of the loops, so that now means the ballast siding is fully wired up. Trains can now sit in there with their lights on and shunt round and things like that. All the trains in the loops can now sit in the loops with their lights on and still have power to them, and in platform number 1 they can all stand in there as well. In terms of scenery, obviously not a great deal has been done. The TMD area still is basically the same and it's going to remain the same other than the 3rd rail for quite a while now. I want to kind of push on with this area and down towards the door of the garage. Obviously I've just all this track's been ballasted, and I've been working on, you know, like trees and various things like that. I've actually got a hold of a box of seafoam. I think it's just called seafoam. Anyway, it's what a lot of people use for trees, and these ones are basically old woodland scenic tree trunks that I've taken all the leaves off, covered it in polyfiber, and then scattered them in with knock leaves. And I'll be doing the same with the seafoam leaves and to make trees out of that as well. But apart from that, not really a lot's been done. I also had a go at making a ballast mound. I think it's turned out alright at the moment. I've changed my ballast that I'm using. I'm now using the Woodland Scenics fine ballast rather than, I think I was using the Gauge Master one. It's a little bit more realistic, and it'll look a lot better once I've weathered it. But you can see the, you basically see the difference there. Obviously this will need a bit of fine tuning and things like that, and then obviously there'll be a bridge going across the back there, and then this will all run round into a scenic break about here, and then that'll be the end of the scene. And then just adding some finer details. Obviously I've got some dummy point motors, and I've been running the cable trunking along towards the signals. The signal will be there in that hole there, and I've added an end of a platform just to finish off the platform edging. The cable trunking was purchased from Scale Model Scenery, along with the, what else did I purchase from them? Along with the curbs from the the curbs over in the ballast side, and so the two latest purchases I made from them. Very good. You know, they're pretty easy to assemble. They come in 3 parts, and then you just the 4th part is just the capping on top, and then you can just cut and bend them to how you want it. Comes with like triangle connector bits. Nice and easy, nice and cheap as well. It's all 3D like printed or whatever, so it's all good. And then I've been adding orange cables. So just basically little detailing. If you want me to do a video on these sort of things, then I'll happily do so. It's these kind of little details that actually bring the scene to life and give it the realism that people are looking for in their railways. So they're the types of things that I really want to focus on. And the reason why I haven't really focused on my station yet is because I haven't finalised the top of it. I need to you know, add various mixtures of colours of grey and tarmac colours, and then obviously think about how I'm going to do the sides to match kind of modern sides, modern platforms, and how they would look in real life. So that's where we stand in terms of the early October update. This was meant to come in September, but I never really got round to it, so I thought I'd, you know, post one now just to kind of keep on top of things and not leave you guys in the loop like I normally do. There will be another update in the end of October. Hopefully I'll have done a lot more by then. Hopefully this station will be ballasted. You can see I've started to actually ballast it now, but hopefully it'll be fully ballasted. All the, you know, platform lights and signals will be done, and the point motors will hopefully be done as well. And then we will have a fully functioning station area and ballast sidings, and then we can just focus on, you know, doing the scenery and planning out how we want all the buildings to look behind the track and everything. So as always, thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. If there are any, as always, any videos you want to see me do on station detailing or anything like that, or, you know, there will be a Burco signal installation if you guys want to see that. I will be uploading that very soon once the switches arrive. But for now, thank you guys for watching. Please like and comment, and I will see you guys in the next one.